Folks, welcome to another episode. The purpose of these videos is to give you some information that you might need if you're going through situations. You guys know I'm a real estate agent. I work primarily with people who are looking to sell in Queens, Long Island, Brooklyn, Bronx, downstate New York area. If you have any questions of what we're discussing right now, feel free to reach out to us. I've been trying to get this together for a while. In real estate, we find all kinds of needs that people have. So sometimes people go through situations where they have to end a relationship with their spouses, with their partners. So divorce comes into the conversation. So we have a divorce specialist here who can talk to us, guide us through when it comes to these situations and when it comes with real estate. So I'm going to let my special guests introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Lauren Barrington. I am a divorce mediator. I work with clients to save them time, energy, and money in resolving disputes so that they don't have to go to court. I think my business is called Nexus Mediation, and thank you for the introduction. With Nexus Mediation, we try to make sure that clients are able to come to an agreement and come to terms with their divorce in every possible topic. So when it comes to divorce, there's always that chance that you're selling your property and then either you or your spouse may have a dispute that comes up. So that's when I would come in. We would go over all of the terms that are necessary when it comes to selling a house and listen to both sides. I would be a neutral third party and I would create a space for both parties to explain to each other what they need when it comes to that property. And we discuss whether they're able to maintain that property, what they should do in order to have both parties be comfortable after the divorce process has concluded.
So walk us through the scenario. Let's say Tom and Mary, they purchase a home. They realize things are not things have to change, and they both decide they have to make a change without each other. And they decide, okay, I think we need to talk to someone. They reach out to me. Hey, Evans, we need to sell our house, and both people are in agreement, or they're not sure yet, but they need to speak to a specialist. I introduce them to you. Walk us through the process.
Yeah, so after I would meet with them, I would see what their goals are when it comes to mediation. If they're looking to completely separate, like get a divorce, then we would go over the entirety of their marriage, let's say. And that involves looking at their finances, that involves looking at any properties that they have together or any assets, because we would be dividing assets and personal property, etc. And then during that time, we would have the conversation of what their best case scenario would look like. So they could go to court and they can fight. And we all know how long that takes. So in this process, it takes about, if we're just looking to divide the assets, it can take one session to do that. But the divorce overall can take a total of 4.5 sessions, which is a lot less than going in and out of court or working through two separate attorneys to come to the same conclusion that might not be in their best interest.
Okay, so there's a lot to unwrap basically from what you
Yeah.
just trying to think of the best question to ask after that. All right, so let's say in a crazy world, everybody's in agreement after they have the conversation with you and they proceed, hey, we're going to sell a house. You're getting this, you're getting this. And they're not fighting with each other at this point because they're like, all right, we're amicable. We want to end this right now and move on. What do they do then?
If they're amicable, then we would put their terms that they've agreed to in writing. And they would be able to work with an attorney on both sides. The attorney would review the contract to make sure that it works for them. And then they're able to move forward with the divorce, move forward with the selling of the property as well.
All right, let's do the flip side because
Yeah.
basically this is the more popular turnout. The opposite, they can't stand each other. They're shooting darts at each other, and they what how do we work this?
Yeah, so I like to say that high conflict divorce or high conflict issues is not a deterrent for mediation. So just because they might not agree with each other doesn't mean that they're not a good candidate for mediation. So I would work with them separately and figure out what each party is looking for moving forward. And then we would come together and discuss those terms together. Then we would be able to, I would help them negotiate the terms, again, that work best for them. They do not have to be friends during this process because it can be a rough process. It's very emotional and, they're entitled to feel how they feel about it. But at the end of the day, we're trying to get an agreement that works for everyone, including the realtor.
Okay. Now, let's say basically they have property here. Somebody decided to keep this one. They're in agreement with that. They have property elsewhere. How does that come into play?
Yeah, so that's perfectly fine. It depends on what they want to do with the property. If they want to split the property down the middle, that's something that we discuss. If one person wants the property and the other person will take the other property, that's open to negotiation as well. The thing about mediation is everything is open for negotiation. So instead of going to court where the judge will just hand out a court order, we're able to see both sides of the story. Who can afford what? If we need to bring in a third party, financial neutral, we can have them look over their finances as a couple and separately, and we can see who is actually able to manage the properties. And if they are not able to do that, what is the next course of action? And again, they would be able to negotiate that in mediation as well.
All right, because it's negotiation, have you ever had like a situation where everything was agreed on and everything was running smoothly, and then all of a sudden one party decides, I want to go back on what I said.
Yes, that happens. That happens more than we would like because sometimes, unfortunately, divorce can be about control. It can be about, emotions. You're ending this relationship that you thought you were going to be in for a long period of time. And we definitely have to have empathy for that. And when they realize that mediation is a lot more collaborative and a lot quicker than they might have expected, there is sometimes a person who doesn't necessarily want to let go and they will, I'm not signing this, I don't agree with this. And then we can come back to mediation and we can definitely try to work through it again and see if there are potential terms that we haven't looked at yet. Or the clients have the opportunity to take it to court as well.
I think that the next question is the obvious one. Is pretty much they're in agreement. They want to move forward. Have you ever had like any scenarios where pretty much it was as smooth as possible, and then guess what? We might come back together.
But yes. Well, we always love a good love story. But if they go through mediation, they go through the whole process, since I am not the attorney that's working for them, I'm a neutral party. So I'm working with them, but I don't represent either party. So if they decide that they don't want to file for divorce, they don't have to. When they're working with me, we're just kind of settling the terms that come with the divorce. And after that, they would file, and they would file together. But if they decide that, this was hard work and it turns out we love each other and we want to be together, absolutely. I'm all for it.
Is there anything that we haven't discussed that people should know in this line of conversation that we're having right now?
Yeah, I think that mediation is not well spoken of. I think that people don't really recognize the benefit that comes with mediation. We always see people going to court. We always see, oh, I'm going to take you for everything you have. Like, that's what people think of when they think of divorce. They don't recognize that it can be a very collaborative opportunity for both parties to express how they feel, express what they want. I think a big part of working in this field, I get to see different emotions and people who think that mediation represents one thing or divorce represents one thing when it really doesn't have to. Of course, it's the end of a relationship, but it's the beginning of something new. And with mediation, you have that opportunity to find a new relationship with that person, even if it might, you might need some time apart to heal and stuff like that, but you're not burning bridges. And I think that's the most important part. Maybe after a few months, after you've cooled down, you realize that that person was actually trying to work with you to separate in the most fair possible way. And I think that more people should know about mediation, especially when it comes to divorce, custody, or those, disputes that nobody really wants to deal with, that this is a real option for them.
I'm glad you brought that up. The whole purpose of this is pretty much to give people more options,
Mm.
to know what's available to them, if they wanted to go this route, especially these are hard conversations to have, but
Yeah.
you have to have them with your spouse, you have to have them with your family, you have to have them with your realtor, and then point you to the right direction. Hopefully, you're calling Lauren basically to see what needs to be done and whatnot. The only other question I have is basically if the person that's watching this right now and they're like, you know what, this is where we're at right now. We need to have a conversation. We've discussed. How can they reach you, Lauren?
Yes, you can reach me at nexusmediation.net, or you can give me a phone call at 631-320-8694. And I would love to speak with you.
Because people are gonna ask, because I'm in Queens, we have people who speak a lot of languages. Are there any other languages that you guys speak that they should know about?
Currently, we're only doing English. I would definitely love to, as I branch out and as I grow within my company and my business, I am definitely going to be looking for other languages because I know New York is definitely a melting pot of languages and cultures.
Yes, we are. Well,
Yes.
you don't have to worry about that because I got you covered. We have a lot of languages spoken here in my
Oh,
office. With
perfect.
38, so if you need translation, we can have somebody translate for you and then connect with Lauren and take it from there.
Love
Lauren, I
that.
want to say thank you so much. Just give me some words of encouragement to the people that are watching this. They're going through this process right now. Give them some words of encouragement.
Yeah. So divorce, separation, and just change in general can be very difficult. So if you can find somebody that can make it a little bit easier for you, even if that is mediation, even if that is therapy, even if that is selling your property and just looking for something new, definitely be excited at the fact that you get that opportunity to do that. And I'm really excited about that as well.
Well, talking about excitement, I'm excited to put this together with you, put this
Yes.
out to people. As your realtor, I want to make sure I give you always value, and I hope you guys got some value out of this. If you have any questions about selling your home in Queens, Long Island, Brooklyn, Bronx, give me and my team a call. I'm Evantz Saint-Gerard. Number is 917-975-5985. Again, 917-975-5985. My phone is always with me. Give me a call whenever. And I like to work with people who are like-minded. So as you can see, we're both wearing the same color.
Yes.
This was kind of random.
Yeah.
So this video, I hope it does well. I hope you guys like this. And if you have any other comments or any questions that you want us to collaborate and do more videos, please leave those in the comments. You're going to see this video on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, on my website, hopefully on Lauren's website as well. And this is one of many videos that we're planning to do in the future. I have nothing else to say besides thank you for watching, and feel free to reach out to us if you have any other questions, whether it's real estate or mediation questions. We're here to help you, and we want to give you options, so give us a call. Talk to you soon.